Hello? Oh God, so fucking. I don't know. Accidentally hit. Accidentally. I guess I accidentally hit stop stream. Oh God, that was annoying. Sorry guys. Sorry. Oh man, that's so annoying. Um. Uh. Oh great. Great. Accidentally hit. I guess I accidentally hit stop stream. I didn't think I would. So sorry. Sorry about that. Um. I think it's either the stream just suddenly stopped or I accidentally hit stop stream. Didn't mean it. I didn't mean to. That's annoying, right? Sorry guys. Back. I'm back. Um. Oh, that was annoying. All right. I want to give it a few seconds. Laughing man, it is what it is. Okay. Brent, what is up, my brother? What is up? Thank you for being here, my brother. All right, let's get started. Let's get back on track. That was annoying, but let's get back on track. Okay. Let's check this one out.
This. A guy tracks you down on social media, waits months, begging you to go out with him, just keeps asking, you keep saying no. Finally, you give the guy a chance.
It's all good, my brother. I hope you're doing well tonight. I'm chilling. A little annoyed that I don't know. I guess I accidentally stopped the stream. Last one. That is whatever. Yeah. I said this in the last one is like, don't do it. I'm sorry. I like if you said no to a man, stick with it. This is right here. This is why no don't mean no. Women don't like. This is the perfect example, right? Perfect example right here, right? Why no doesn't mean no. You said no, and yet now you're dating this man. This is the problem. This is why women are the problem, right? Women are the problem. I saw a video of a woman teaching her son no mean no. Really? Does it? Does it? Because this woman literally just destroyed your whole argument. Just destroyed your whole teaching, right? Because literally she just taught, and she's doing it on social media. She just taught everyone, right? She just taught everyone that no doesn't mean no. That's the problem right there, right? Literally, this woman said she didn't want this man, but she went on dates with him, and then she thought it was getting serious. So it didn't mean no. That is the insanity. If women say no, just let it be no. It should always be no. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter about him, right? It doesn't matter how persistent he is. If you said no, keep it like that. Keep it there. And that's the problem. Women don't, right? Women don't. Who cares if he's persistent? It doesn't matter. If you said no, because there was a reason why you said no, right? There's a reason why you said no. Then keep it like that. Plain and simple. Just keep it like that. I just think a lot of times women are ridiculous in that. This is why women create the insanity that they create. Why some men think, oh, you know what? I can get her. I can wear her down. No. And I said this, right? Yeah, I have a daughter. I do have a daughter. That's why I'll definitely teach her differently, right? I'll definitely teach her differently because I think women are terrible role models. Women are terrible teachers in life, right? Women can teach you math or history or whatever, but they're terrible life teachers, in my opinion, in general. Um, but yeah, no doesn't mean no with women, which is a sad thing. And also, this is the thing. I just, like I said, there's a reason why she said no, but yet that reason doesn't matter to you anymore. And I'll say this, right? Men, don't be that desperate. If she says no, move on. The only men that the only men that don't care is the players, right? The only men that don't care are the players. They don't care because they could care less. They don't care if they get with you or if they're married or whatever. They only care about having sex with you. That is it. No, no, then nug nug, and then Chad flash the cat. Yes, exactly.
He's cute. All right, fine. You go on a date. He's great. He's sweet. Great eye contact. Chemistry, I think's there. Have a good time. The whole conversation is
I swear, right? Having a daughter stresses me out, right? Having a daughter definitely stresses me out because I'm worried for her. I'm definitely worried for her in the sense that, you know, the world of feminism, the world is, I just think that, uh, you know, her going dating, her, you know, either becoming a, strong independent woman, whatever crap. It's like all these things. God.
about how he's ready for a family and he's only looking for a woman who really wants kids. That's the tone. I'm like, great, someone who's serious, who wants a relationship. Fast forward a few dates. It's getting kind of serious in my little pea brain. You know, introduce each other's dogs. We're visiting each other's places. You know, it's getting in this pea brain to the next step. You don't want to know what's going on in his pea brain. So fast forward again. We're having great long walks, great weekends. A couple months go by, having really good, serious talks. One could say there's a little bit of love bombing in there. There's a little bit of future faking in there. So, a couple months go by, you're doing one of your 4-mile walks, you're holding hands, the dogs are sniffing the grass, the sun is setting. You're only in mile 1 of the 4-mile walk, mind you. And innocent female thought bubble, I say out loud, silly me, I go, so are we kind of gonna delete the apps? Are we kind of exclusive? What's the plan, Stan? I mean, I don't want to pigeonhole ya, but it's been a few months and it seems to be going well. And I'm letting you into my safe space, my emotional, this is my favorite place on earth, and I don't just let anyone hear. Stupid me, I'll never do that again. Spoiler alert.
You'll never do that again. So the man you picked, the man you didn't want, and yet you still picked, you treated you whatever, however bad it is. Now you're going to treat the next man worse. This is why dating for women never makes sense, right? This is why women have a hard time with dating. So, like I said this before, right? So you are a ride or die chick for a bad man. But when you happen to possibly get with a good man, you're going to be a shitty one? Makes sense. It makes sense, right? It makes so much sense that you will be a shitty woman to good men, but a good woman to shitty men. Makes so much sense. And to be fair, DA, if I have one in the future after 18 years, I did my job and going to stay there in our country of origin, DA. Okay. I mean, to be honest, is like, I also agree, right? I mean, once she's a full-grown adult, you know, life is her choices, right? Life is up to her, right? So whatever mistakes, one thing I'm glad when it comes to my daughter is that I taught her accountability, right? The one thing that I'm glad when it comes to my daughter, I taught her accountability. She understands accountability. Now, whether she understands it in, real life consequences kind of way, that is up to her, how intelligent she will be, right? I mean, right now she's young, so, you know, parents will take the blunt of the consequences, but she can't say that she doesn't understand accountability once she hits 18, right? Once she's an adult, she understands accountability. She sounds like she's talking to children with the tone. It kind of is, right? It's a little bit annoying, right? How she talks. It's like I don't know, she's talking to babies, right? It's like she's on Teletubbies or some shit, right? But I just thought it was stupid. And here's the thing where, I don't know. I would think, right? If you're dating someone for a couple months already, in my honest opinion, right? If you're dating someone for, I believe after 2 months, right? After 2 months, maybe after a month, I already kind of believe that you should already have the talk of seriousness already. So if after, I don't know what she means by a couple months, maybe is that 2? Is that 3? Is that 4? I don't know. So I mean, I think it's also, you should have talked about this beforehand, right? In the first couple of dates, in my opinion, right? It's like, do you want something serious? How long? I mean, it sounds, I don't know. It's just.
And this man looks at me dead in the eye, still holding my hand, and says, I don't think so. I don't think I want a relationship. I don't think I want to be exclusive. I don't want to be with you. I don't see a future. And I'm like, it was kind of like, that.
It's weird, right? So did he say he doesn't want a relationship or he doesn't want to be with you? But here's the thing where it's perfectly within his right? Perfectly fine. Better off if he told her earlier, but I guess after this is why I think like men should go after women. I mean, men should recognize looks isn't everything, right? Looks ain't everything. He was so desperate to get with her and find out that, you know what, her personality is not that great, right? Being with her is not that great. He may think she looks great, but being with her personally ain't that great. Personality probably not that great. But this is a thing where, he probably should have told her already, because I believe that he already knew, right? I guess he was just stringing her along for a little bit, which I think is not cool, right? Sean, what is up? What is up? What is up? Yeah, it's not that cool, but I guess it's a good thing that he is telling her, but he's only telling her after she asked. So I think it's a disingenuous man. Could be just a player, right? Let's be honest. I said this already, right? A man that is either a simp or a player, right? A simp or a player that if a woman rejects you and you still try to go after her, you're either a simp or a player, right? A simp because you love her so much, right? You just gotta have her. She's the love of your life, right? So you're simp. So you have to. So no duh, you don't care if she says no. A player, you don't care if she says no because all you care about is just to get with her. And obviously, it seems like he's gotten in her pants already. So
that meme where it's like the buffering, that was me. I'm like buffering. So my little brain, I'm like, and we're only on mile 1 of 4. My only thought at that time is, get me out of here. Get me out of here. I'm like, I think it's just like being adopted and, I don't know, being a tourist or just being me and having lived in New York. I need to always know there's an escape hatch. Like, where are the exits? How can I leave? I couldn't leave. There was the only way out was finishing this 4.
that's not logical. What is it? There are spikes behind you now? Every step you take, new spikes come up behind you? That don't fucking make sense. What are you talking about? You could walk back. You could backtrack.
Mile walk. And I'm like, and this person stuffs at my house. I'm like thinking to myself, I wish I could like in Sims, I wish I could go to my house before we go back there, remove all of his materials and put them outside in front of his car so that I didn't have to deal with it. You know, like all of those things. Anyway, so we painfully finished the next 3 miles with him just like, you know, I just tuned it out, but I just let him regurgitate whatever he wanted to get out. I was just like one track mind. I'm like, get home, get back to safety. And I'm telling my dog,
Get back to safety. I'm pretty sure you've kissed this man. Maybe, most likely, you've had sex with this man. You've been with this man for months already, and now you say get back to safety. What do you think he was going to do to you? What do you think he's going to do to you now that he wouldn't have done to you already? It's just stupidity. I'm sorry. This is. It's like, are you kidding me? You wanted to be with this man. You literally wanted to be with this man. Now you think that it's unsafe to be with him? The dishonesty of women, the disingenuous of a lot of women. Are you kidding me? You literally wanted to know what kind of future you will have with this man. Just a second ago, right? Just a second ago, you wanted a future with this man, and now you say that you gotta leave for your safety. What changed? Because he doesn't want to be with you now? You think that it's unsafe? Ridiculous.
like, giddy up.
Yes, moronic.
And he's just telling me all the reasons why he's like trying to find himself. He's like, he thinks he needs to like date more people. Well, no, first he said, the one thing I recall that I was like, he said, I think I need to be away from you to realize that I want to be with you. And I was like, he said he'll miss me when he's away from me and gone. So he needs to figure that out and feel that feeling first. And I was like, sir.
She literally went after a player, right? She literally got played, right? She like, the more she talks about the guy, she literally just went with a player, right? She went with a bad boy, a Pookie or whatever, right? It's a player.
You nuts. So we finally crawl back to my location, and this chicken nugget is like, yeah, so I can like stay in your guest room though, like it's late, I'll drive back tomorrow. I was like, that's super amazing that you thought that. There's the door, don't let it hit you. Well, maybe let it hit you on the way out. Skedaddle. And long story short,
Long story short, and I can. She's a bit unique. I think she's a bit unique. I think this is a thing where I don't know her social media presence, right? I don't know if this guy watched her videos or not. But it's like, I think he was fooling himself. To be honest, that's why I said, right. I think the guy was a player. He just wanted a notch on his belt.
he was just shocked that I didn't want him to just, you know, tent up and, you know, stay the night. And I mean, these men, these 30-something guys, just, I think they're just home.
How many of these 30-something guys? How many? These men? You literally talked about one man. This is the insanity of women. You literally just talked about one man. How many? These 37 guys. What? It's like, stop it. No, just talk about that one guy. Stop bringing other men into it. Other men aren't dating you, right? Other men are not dating you. Stop bringing that shit up.
Homeless? I don't know. They just want to like stay at these women's houses that they meet on these apps. I don't know. I mean, I met him on Instagram. Red flag. I won't do that again. But yeah, I just look back at that and I'm like, I pride myself in being able to see these things, I would think, in advance or like miles away, but even the best get got, you know? I mean, dang. So I'm just happy as a clam with me and my pupperoo, because my safe space is my safe space. And it was a good lesson learned. Like, no more of these individuals get to be in my safe, like my happy spot. So, like,
Great. Stay single. I mean, like, I hope that you will stay single for as long as you can. Okay, great.
my apartment and stuff, like, you're gonna have to be with me for like probably 12 months, like to a year, like before I'm gonna let you, enter my space again. But I like, what is going on? Like, I get it. Like, if you don't want commitment, like, say it straight up so we can save everybody's time.
No, he doesn't want commitment with you. Stop it. Studies have shown, right? Majority of men are, predominantly men want marriages. Men want commitment. Men do want commitment. Problem a lot of these women don't understand. Men don't want commitment with you, right? After getting to know you, right, being around you for months, he finds out that, he figures out that he doesn't want commitment with you. To be honest, yeah, he should have been just honest. Like, I think he was honest. You can see that it looks fake. I think you can see it's, I think he was honest. He said that I don't want to be with you. So it's you. He doesn't want to be with you. So
I'm an emotion.
okay. She's a unique one, right? She's a unique one. So interesting. What do you guys think? Her space will soon include cats of lots of cats. I agree. All right, let's check out these other videos.
My hot take is if a man is abusive to a woman, or he cheats on her a lot, or he's like, I don't know, narcissistic, that type of guy, the guy that sleeps around, who's hypersexual, who cheats all the time, addicted to porn, all that kind of guy, the abusive asshole, those kind of guys, the men that we all want to divorce, the men that you're stuck with for years and you try to leave because of an abusive relationship, all those assholes. My hot take is they're all gay. They're gay.
I love it that women who are the predominant supporters of the alphabet community would readily, quickly use gay as a slur, right? Gay as a jab, gay as an insult to men. Right? Women don't have a problem with using gay as an insult because she's not saying gay as a some kind of I don't know, loving thing. It's literally using gay as an insult. And it seems like women don't really understand what gay means, right? It's literally being attracted to another man. Now, unless these men are cheating on you with other men, they're not gay, right? If they're cheating on you with other women, right? And to say that a man that lies to you is gay is kind of funny. So you're saying gay men are liars. To say that a man abuses you just is essentially to say that gay men are abusers. It's also quite funny, right? It really is because women don't realize because this woman lacks critical thinking. You're essentially saying that it's gay men that are abusive. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. So you're just essentially saying gay men are abusive, right? This is why these men are abusive. They're gay.
Every abusive man who has ever mistreated a woman, especially if she's like the mother of his child, that dude's gay as hell. That dude is so deep in the closet and he doesn't know how to claw himself out, and he is so scared that he's going to get found out. So he treats his woman, he wants to be powerful man. So he beats on a woman. He cheats on a woman. He treats her like crap because he hates women.
So gay men hate women. Gay men hate women. Gay men are abusive. You're like, okay, great.
He loves men. He wants to be with a man and he's mad at you because you have a vagina.
So does that mean that misandrists are lesbians? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. So women that hate men are secretly lesbians. I wouldn't be surprised, right? I wouldn't be surprised that women that secretly hate men or publicly hate men are just lesbians. Makes sense. Makes sense. Okay. Let's check out another one.
So a man having to go to work every day to provide for his family is not a sacrifice because it's something he should have to be doing anyway. But when they say the same thing about you cooking and cleaning and doing the dishes and doing laundry, you then understand that the workload increases because of the added responsibility and the added amount of people that is in your home. Right? Because if you were the one doing all the cooking and the cleaning and the washing and the drying, you would consider that to be a sacrifice because you have to work harder than you would if you lived alone. But you don't understand how that also applies to the pressures that comes onto a man's back because he has to work and provide for a lot more people, which provides a lot more pressure on him to make sure he exceeds expectations, to work even harder, to make even more for his family. Is everyone okay? Are y'all all right? Because I don't think y'all are. Because if those tables was turned and it was you who had to go to work every day to make sure that your family was provided for, you would absolutely consider it to be a sacrifice. When we talk about single motherhood and how hard we have to work as single mothers, we absolutely consider that to be a sacrifice because there are other things we could be doing with some of our time, but we're having to work harder because everything is on our own backs, which is a sacrifice. Hello? Hello? Is anybody out there? Is anybody out there? So a man having to go to work every day to provide for his family. So a man.
I think it's awesome, right? She literally was saying that, yeah, men that provide is a sacrifice. I give her props to that. I didn't think that's where she was going from, right? So I'll definitely give her props, right? I'll definitely give her props that, you know, this is the thing where a lot of people, right, don't realize that men do sacrifice, okay? People got to realize men sacrifice their time with their loved ones so they can provide for their loved ones. So I think that's amazing that she recognized that. So I love it, right? That's really cool. Yeah, nothing I can say. I can't say that. I mean, I agree with her, right? I agree with her. And this is why I did a couple days ago, I did a debate, right? I did a debate that being a stay-at-home mom is easier than an actual job, right? I'm not saying that being a stay-at-home mom is easy, right? I'm not saying being a mom is easy, right? Particularly a stay-at-home mom. I'm saying it's easier than a job, right? Because here's the thing, right? Literally, already, she kind of mentioned it, right? Yes. Literally, you're sacrificing your time. You're sacrificing your time with your wife, with your children to provide for them. Already that makes it already harder, right? What is the stay-at-home mom sacrificing? The money she's making? Why would she sacrifice that when she has a roof over her head, her bills paid, and, you know, she has money in the bank, her husband's money in the bank? Not really of a sacrifice. All right, let's check this one out. Let's check, another video from this woman out. Let's see if I agree with her on this one.
I've seen videos where women who have lost a considerable amount of weight, they speak about how different their experience is when it comes to men and dating, and how men who would have never looked in their direction when they were big are now looking in their direction. And a lot of times in the comments they'll say things like, well, if he wouldn't pay you any money when you were big, you shouldn't pay him any attention now. And when I was bigger, I agreed with that because I was bigger, which would then change the type of people that you attract. But if a lot of us are honest, we don't want fat men. We don't want fat men. We're not attracted to fat men. And do y'all remember the video when a guy was like, you know, she told me that I didn't accept her at her worst, so I don't deserve her at her best. And I'm like, you didn't accept you at your worst either. You didn't like you at your worst either. So why would I like you at your worst? And it's like, I didn't like me when I was at my biggest. I didn't like me when I was at my worst. So why would I expect men of a certain caliber to like me at my worst? to like me when I was unhealthy and inflamed and low confidence with very much low self-esteem? Why should I expect for men to want me there when I did not even like me there? Like, I can't knock men for wanting me now or being attracted to me now or wanting to give me the time of day now when they see that I am now putting effort, time, care, and love into myself. Why would you not be attracted to me now?
What?
Not to say we're not being arrogant, just we're having a conversation. Why would you expect for more men to be attracted to you now when even you are more confident when you look in the mirror? We have to be serious. Even in my own experience, there are men now who look at me who did not pay me an ounce of attention when I was 50 pounds heavier. But why would he? That makes sense. That does make sense. I can't fault them for that. Just like I wouldn't want no man when he's super humongous either. But if you lose weight and you're taking care of yourself and you look good, of course, like, that's not their fault. That's not their fault. I've seen videos where women who have lost a considerable amount of weight, they speak about how different their experience is when it comes to men and dating, and how men who would have never looked in.
I want to say this, right? She kind of allude to it. She kind of allude to it. I gotta check that out. She kind of allude to it that certain caliber of men, right? Certain caliber of men. That's the thing. That's the thing where a lot of women aren't being honest. Yeah. I want to show you this. This woman has a husband.
Only got a month.
This woman has a husband. She has a husband. It's certain caliber of men. So since you only want a certain caliber of man, well, men want a certain caliber of women. So exactly that. Okay. I just showed you if that woman can get a man, any woman can get a man. The problem is, do you want that man? Women are never honest. You can get a man if you're old, young, fat, skinny, ugly, pretty, right? Six kids, 0 kids, trauma filled, perfect angel. It don't matter. There's always a man out there that will want you. Problem is, do you want that man, right? That is the issue. So that is something that a lot of women don't realize. Do you want that man? Is it? Let me check this. I'm trying to find. Because Justin just said Trump was. Someone just tried to shoot Trump.
The room, you can see it right now. Looks like there's really no sense of urgency. Obviously,
Correct.
they're talking about weapons, so it looks like the situation has been mitigated. But again, thank goodness for that Secret Service at that magnetometer.
Under the sense of this together, I take something positive that people are in the room and they haven't, for a moment there, the Secret Service was telling guests of this dinner to get under the tables as if there was still an active threat. So as we take our breath here, again, there are now various media executives and reporters who are on their phones, but they're not cleared from the room. So that suggests to us there's an incident, but they haven't been told to leave the hotel. Now, I don't know if there's something going on outside the hotel and they don't want to put people in harm's way outside and they're trying to clear a threat there, and it's better to keep everyone
That'd
in
be
the
crazy,
ballroom.
right?
But this is the largest ballroom in Washington. That's why the White House Correspondents Association has it there every year.
And obviously,
this is remarkable. This is
storied history too, with Reagan also being shot.
He was shot at this hotel, not for a dinner, but he was outside.
We want to also set the scene here because there was a calmness. The program had started. We had heard the band playing. The correspondence president had come out to say it was very meaningful that President Trump and Melania were there. This was obviously highly anticipated, his first time as president to attend the correspondence dinner. As you mentioned, many of the cabinet members are there inside the ballroom as well. And it was unfolding
It is America.
in a very normal fashion. You know, albeit we were waiting to see the president talk, and the big conversation was about the jobs he would get into with the press and the media. Of course,
that this was going to be a fun night, not a serious, scary night.
Quickly unfolding now, of course, the scene is and the mood has obviously changed with this sudden development of potentially shots or some loud banging noises. Also, according to reports, the president. It's getting unclear if he was on the stage at the moment, but he had been on the stage with the First Lady as this was happening. You know, and we just also have to underscore in this climate, President Trump, with the attempted assassinations on him.
Yes.
You know that there has been an intense. We were actually at Mar-a-Lago earlier.
I don't think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think any other president has had this many assassination attempts. I don't know. I don't think of any.
Earlier today where the president was before going to Washington, D.C.
Yeah, good point.
And it is fortified there, and we can only imagine the extra precautions that have been in place, are in place, especially with a high visibility profile like this. We know that some of the people outside, you know, there's been known to be protesters outside this event. This is not a place where the president, you know, they didn't actually, I don't believe, even walk the red carpet.
Right.
So,
no, usually the president does not.
He was not, you know, in visibility with a lot of people, very, very locked in, brought out to the stage in a very secure.
Right. There's a holding room,
mingling.
as I mentioned. There's sort of a VIP pre-dinner reception.
So they were taking every precaution.
Where the president would have been, because I've attended this with presidents, whether it's President Obama, President George W. Bush, and they would be there in a very secure room. With 100 to 200 people maximum, and everybody that's in that room has been swept, make sure they don't have weapons. So it would be highly unlikely that the president would have been in a dangerous situation in that reception room. My question is, once we get Mike Carter on the phone, who's there on the scene, is whether the president was en route from that reception room behind the dais on the way to the stage, which is a little less secure. Okay, so we have Mike Carter, a White House correspondent, on the phone. Mike, you've got Ed and Bianca here. What do you know at this moment, sir?
Ed and Bianca, we're about 5 minutes into this melee here at the White House Correspondents' Dinner at the Hilton, Washington. President Trump just rushed off stage after we heard what sounded like gunshots coming from the back of the ballroom. Now, this is not confirmed, but again, we're seated right in the middle of the White House Correspondents' dinner here. We're right in the middle of the ballroom, so halfway between President Trump, halfway between the back of the ballroom. You know, everyone is kind of having their salad, drinking some wine, getting ready for the festivities. They just got done with the national anthem. The president had walked on stage. We did have just initial pleasantries, and no one's really paying too much attention. And then pow, pow, pow from the back of the ballroom, doors were open. And then all of a sudden, everyone gets down on the floor, and then we look towards the back of the ballroom where the gunshot, what we think were gunshots. We see Secret Service, law enforcement running into the ballroom, grabbing President Trump on the dais, and of course bringing him off.
I mean, like this is a thing where, like seriously, Trump acting the way he is. I mean, the man is like he's he's going through so many attempted, assassinations is insane.
Just wondering what is going on. A lot of confusion, but again, this is something that the security is always high profile in mind ever since Butler, Pennsylvania, during the Trump administration's campaign for office. We're very mindful that anything could happen whenever you're in a situation with the President of the United States, Donald Trump. So he has been removed from the ballroom. His status, him and Melania Trump, Caroline Leavitt was here as well. And everyone on the dais is now gone. And you have thousands of journalists here in Washington in this ballroom wondering what is next, what happens now, how this is one of the more unexpected moments here.
Okay, Mike.
Covering the Trump.
Let me just, pardon me 1 second. I just want to add that one of our colleagues who's there is trying to get us some information, and he is saying that he's hearing reports there on the ground. Some people are now getting on the dais, as you see, because we have a live look,
What terrible security, right? How can someone get, let's say hypothetically it was shots. How can you get into that building with a gun if you're not securities? I mean, like, do they allow people with guns in this building if you're not a Secret Service? Really shoddy security.
Now we are literally in the middle of a sea of people right now. Now,
Okay.
I'll be a little mad too.
May have been Secret Service taking out that suspect before that suspect could get rounds off. I just simply don't know. I can't confirm either way right now. But what we did know is we did hear gunshots going off, and if what your contact is saying is true, that would make a lot of sense here because things have moved very quickly here in the last 5-7 minutes.
Can you describe the security going into the event? Because there's obviously, if there was a potential for the shooter, the doors open, there's a shooter who might be down. Talk to us. You went through that security. What was it? There's obviously layers and layers, but clearly wasn't enough. Just walk us through the process here for someone to be able to access that room there that night.
I will say this was a much lighter brand of security than we usually end up seeing at a typical Trump rally. Now, what do I mean by that? Essentially, you have a TSA set up whenever President Trump goes to speak, much like you did here at the Hilton tonight, but essentially it was just walking through a magnetometer, and then you're in. There was not a heavy set of police law enforcement visible at the front entrance. I took an Uber here in Washington and walked from a few blocks away right into the hotel. I had to show my ticket, of course, to get past security. But the first line of actual physical security where I was put into a magnetometer wasn't until I was well inside the hotel. So do with that information what you will, but anyone, if they had a ticket to this event tonight, could have walked in off the street and got anything with them. So this is something that I'm sure Secret Service is going to go over. The administration is going to go over.
What shoddy-ass security.
I was surprised myself at how easy.
The man had multiple attempts on his life. I can't believe why security isn't top-notch.
Any kind of magnetometer.
Let's jump in. There is some video now I'm seeing on X, and we're going to try to turn it ourselves, of the president safe. Now, I don't know where he is at this moment, but the video I'm seeing is basically suggesting the president was on the dais, up on the stage, when the apparent shots that you refer to rang out in the back of the ballroom. And the president is safe in this video and is shuffled out by the Secret Service, and then a lot of law enforcement with guns come on the stage to secure the scene. So initially, Mike, it appears that the president was not hit or harmed by any apparent shots that came. Again, we're being careful because as you're being careful, we don't know all the details. But the initial video we're seeing suggests that the president, at least at the beginning of this, was safe and then was brought off the stage, Mike.
And Ed and Bianca, I'll give you some perspective from where President Trump was carried off the dais there. From President Trump's perspective, about, I want to say, 30 to 40 yards in front of him, directly in front of him, is where the back of the ballroom was. That's where those doors were open. They're all closed now, about 5 exit doors. They were wide open, and that's where we heard the direction of the gunshots coming from. So if that suspect had a line of fire, it would have been a direct line of fire at President Trump. Again, we don't know if the suspect got gunshots off. We don't know if they were taken out by law enforcement, but the gunshots seemed, from my perspective, again, we're right in the middle of the ballroom, about 20 yards in front of the president, 20 yards in front of the back of the ballroom, right in the middle. That person would have been lined up directly in front of President Trump, about 30, 40 yards away.
About 30 or 40 yards away. That is chilling because I am at a loss here, Bianca, to understand, as I'm sure our viewers are, after all of these threats, as Mike has outlined so well in his reporting, that this president has faced the assassination. How could a shooter get this close to the president?
It is stunning to hear that. Again, if you're just
protocol. And he wanted to emphasize that nobody was hurt. He and the First Lady, the cabinet, everybody's safe. The president will be having a press briefing at the White House in 30 minutes. That is not a joke. And he insists that we will reschedule this event in the next 30 days. And that he wanted to do it tonight. He wanted to continue despite the news, but has to follow security protocol. I said earlier tonight that journalism is a public service because when there is an emergency, we run to the crisis, not away from it. And on a night when we are thinking about the freedoms in the First Amendment, we must also think about how fragile they are. I saw all of you reporting, and that's what we do. So, thank God everybody is safe, and thank you for coming together tonight.
Okay, well, it would have been more badass if he did it, if he continued to do it, right? Continue the whole whatchamacallit, but you know, it is what it is. I understand. You know. Let's do some more videos. All right, let's do a couple more TikTok videos. Anticlimactic, right? With the whole Trump thing, it's a little bit anticlimactic. Right? It would have been badass if he went back on, but yes, I get it. You know, follow security protocol. If he was just had an attempt on his life, yeah, you probably should follow security protocol. All right, let's check out these TikTok videos.
Not proud of it, but man enough to admit it. I was just at the gym and this very handsome man was checking me out, and I was like, oh yeah, get a good look. And then I realized if he was an old man or an unattractive man, I would have been like, can somebody get this creep out of here? And we're all guilty of this. It's a real psychology phenomenon, halo effect, attractiveness bias, whatever you want to call it. But we give more positive traits to attractive people. So even if an unattractive person and an attractive person were doing the exact same thing, it's likely that you'd label one as creepy and the other as flirting or attractive. And I'm curious if anybody's thought about this before, because it would be very important in today's gym culture where everybody's putting blackmail of you online for looking at someone. Not proud of it.
Interesting. So you just think hypocritical Dems are creating their dictators. And that's the thing where we don't talk about it enough, right? Literally, he's just a president, right? He's just a president. But if you only listen to one side, right? When I'm doing this video, Trump was supposedly had an attempt on his life, right, at the correspondence dinner, right? Whatever. I guess it's the House Correspondents' Dinner. Okay, so he just had an attempt on his life. And that's the thing we don't talk about, how constantly the Democrats, right, the left, they're creating him as a villain, right, as, you know, as the mustache painter, right, like the mustache painter. You don't realize that the danger of you're trying to paint this man as a dictator when he's not, right? Everything he's doing is within the power of a president. The man isn't a dictator. But yet, if you listen to one side, you will get that feeling. You will get that image that he's a dictator. And guess what? I'm sorry, the left is filled with mentally ill people. So in their mind, if they can get rid of Trump, they're getting rid of a dictator, right? A dictator in their mind. So they think they're heroes. So I just think that's disgusting. Now, back to the video, right? This woman, she comes from a woman's mouth itself, right? A lot of times they hide the gun in the dinner rolls. Really? That would be crazy. That'd be crazy if they did that, right? That'd be like some movie ass shit. Yeah, a lot of women do this. Okay. They judge men on their attraction level, which we all do it, right? But again, they judge men on the attraction level, and the men that they find creepy are the men they find unattractive. 100%, right? 100%. Women that find men creepy, well, guess what? You don't think that said man is attractive, right? You don't personally think that man is attractive. If he is attracted to you, he can do exactly the same thing as the creepy man does, and you still find him attractive, right? You won't have a problem with that. So,
I've seen the recent discourse on here about how men don't really understand what casual relationships are. I want to go one step further than that and say that I don't think
let's play the whole thing.
Men think dating is fun. And I don't mean in the classic sense of like straight men don't actually like women and they don't like spending time with them. Every single woman that I know who dates men, including myself, for the past like 2 to 3 years seems to be consistently running into some version of either the man wants to get into a full-time, full committed relationship right away, or they'll act like we are human receptacles not worthy of a common courtesy hello before asking if they can dump their... I genuinely don't think that men understand that there can be an in-between. You talk to the person that you are seeing and you like go on dates and flirt and have fun, and just because you're doing that doesn't mean that the woman that you're seeing is hunting you down with a rifle in a wedding dress. I've seen the recent discourse on here about how men don't...
Okay, let's break this down.
I've seen the recent discourse on here about how men don't really understand what casual relationships are. I want to go one...
What are you talking about? The movie Fresh? No, I've never seen it. I've never seen that movie before. What is it about? What are you talking about? Men understand casual dating. But in my opinion, in my personal opinion, average men, they don't want to casually date. I believe average men, they rather have commitment. Average men want commitment. Now, if you talk about the players, then fine, go for the players. They definitely take advantage, because here's the thing, right? The problem with casual dating, men can't get it like women do, right? most men, in my honest opinion, if they casually date, they probably get a date once every couple months, right? An actual casual date, right? And casual dating, you gotta think, right? For a lot of men, they're still doing the I'm paying for the date thing. So a man that casually dates and there's no luck, well, he's constantly paying for dates. So that whole casual dating thing is a hole in his pocket. So no, men understand casual dating. Men don't want casual dating because honestly, if you're not a Chad, a Tyrone, a Pookie, the casual dating only leads to a hole in your pocket. It doesn't lead to, some sex, some nookie, right? It doesn't lead to that shit for average men. So men do understand casual dating. Men don't want casual dating because honestly, it gets men nowhere in general, right? For average men, it gets men nowhere besides a hole in his pocket. That's it. So casual dating sucks for men. Yeah, men don't want casual dating because for average men, you're just draining his pocket and he gets nothing out of it. For the players, he gets some sex, right? He gets to play. He gets to have fun. So yeah, no duh, these men, the players, love casual dating. Average men don't.
Step further than that and say that I don't think men think dating is fun. And I don't mean
because it's not. Because again, I just show you, dating isn't fun, right? Particularly when there's more of a disadvantage to one side. How many times you see women complain about, oh, I will not do 50-50, right? I will not pay for the date, right? I will not pay for my part of the date. And men know this. Men know this. It's like, so already you are putting, it's already a disadvantage, right? Where men have to put out more than they're receiving. And imagine if men have to do that every week, right? Because one girl doesn't want him, boom, he's out, let's say $60. Next week, boom, goes on another chick with go on a date with another chick. Boom, another $60 out. $60 every week is like, seriously, right? Once, yeah, it's not that big of a deal. But like every time he goes out on a date, he's out money and he gets nothing for it. No duh. Who thinks that's fun? This is why women have the privilege of finding dating fun, right? They get all the benefits, almost none of the drawbacks, right? Almost essentially, okay? You go on a date, if it's fun, awesome, you're having fun. If it's not fun, you got a free meal, essentially. So really, it's like, it's either or, right? Not the extreme cases where something bad happens to her, because it's an extreme case. It's not the norm. It's 100% not the norm. So it's the extreme cases where, you know what? She goes on a date, she loves the man. It's fun, it's all that, even if she doesn't love him, but it's a fun date. Great. But she goes on a date with a man, it's not a fun date. At the very least, she has an experience that she didn't have to pay for. So, no duh, it's more fun for women to casually date than it is for men to.
In the classic sense of like straight men don't actually like women and they don't like spending time with them. Every single woman that
This is the thing where it's also a thing where men, it's not like men don't have a problem with spending time with women. Men do. The problem isn't men, right? It is women, because a lot of times women decide not to continue to see this man. So hypothetically, let's say he enjoys spending time with her. He enjoys talking to her. Yet she doesn't. Now what? Now he's invested and it goes nowhere. So men know that the problem isn't men, right? Men are all, when men go on in general, when men go on a date with a woman, he's already invested. He is already interested. Hell, he's already monetarily invested, right? Because he's paying for that date. So obviously he's interested in you. But for a woman, that's not obvious. Women will go on dates with men they're not attracted to. I have plenty of examples, plenty of videos, plenty of evidence that women go on dates with men they don't even know, or they're not interested in, they're not attracted to. They just go on a date for a free meal, a free experience, or just to give him a chance to maybe change her mind.
I know who dates men, including myself, for the past 2 to 3 years, seems to be consistently running into some version of either the man wants to get into a full-time, full committed relationship right away, or they'll act like we are human receptacles not worthy of a common courtesy hello before.
It's like, yeah, men that want men. She's talking about men that want the relationship and the players. It's like, stop it with the in-between, right? She wants the in-between. A man that's kind of like a player, but, kind of wants commitment. It's like, What the hell? It's either you want commitment or you don't, right? You want a casual date? Go for the man that treats you like a dumpster.
Asking if they can dump their... I genuinely don't think that men understand that there can be an in-between. You talk to the person that you are seeing and you like go on dates and flirt and have fun. And just because...
The problem, right? The problem with the whole in-between thing, like I said, women don't make it, right? Make it worthwhile, okay? The thing is that already, this is why we say it, right? Why men are doing it now. And women are complaining about it. The coffee dates, the walking dates, the 50-50. Literally, how many times I've heard a woman say, oh, if a man tells me to do 50-50, I'm not gonna see him again. So men know that, like, seriously, they're already out money. So it's not a casual thing, it's not a fun thing, because he's already more invested in you than you're in him. Right? So literally, this is why women have a really hard time of understanding. DA, there are only 170 million women only in America, to men. So tell me again, who can choose and lonely, huh? Okay. Who can choose? Yeah, I mean, yeah. Men, this is the thing where I said, right? I said this before. Men don't have to be lonely. Men are being fooled to be lonely. Don't deal with these women, right? These women that want to commit, they want to play with your time, go outside of America. This is why we don't deal with women like this, right? Because they want to waste your time. They want to waste your time. Women like this only are trying to waste your time. Let's casual date. Let's fun. Let's have fun. Let's flirt. Hell with that shit. It's not fun. Because imagine this, right? Imagine this. You're casually dating her. You're flirting. You're having fun. You're paying for dates, right? You're doing all this thing. But as you're casually dating her, you're interested in her. You're getting more and more interested in her. You're attracted to her. You're liking her personality. So your feelings are growing for her. While for her, in her mind, she's just having fun with you. Because in her mind, she's not that attracted to you. She's not that into you. But she likes you, or she thinks you're cool. But she's not that into you. So that mindset, when she's ready, she'll move on to the next man. Because there's no guarantee that the casual dating will lead to anything more serious. There's no guarantee to that. Right? So now this man is putting his hopes in a situation that he hopes that there's something more serious. But in her mind, it's probably not going to go serious anytime soon. You're wasting his time. Stop it with that. If you want something casual, go with the men that do want it casual. Surprisingly, right? Yeah, you may be treated like a dumpster, but that's the price you pay. This is the problem where women want perfection. They want things how they want it. And I think that's literally this kind of video, right? How women want things how they want them is why marriages don't work, right? Is why marriages are failing. Because exactly that. In marriages, right? Why communication is like number one reason is because women can't communicate right. Women want things how they want them, right? And men don't necessarily fall in line how women want them. Just like let's say she wants you to clean the house, but when she wants you to clean it, she tells you how to clean it. She wants you to take care of the children when she tells you to take care of the children, how she tells you to take care of children. This is the problem with women, where they micromanage everything. Everything has to fall in line with how women think it should fall in line. Women are extremely bossy. Women are extremely neurotic, right? They don't understand that they are control freaks. It has to happen how I believe it should happen.
Because you're doing that doesn't mean that the woman that you're seeing is hunting you down with a rifle in a wedding dress. I've seen the recent discourse.
Okay, I guess.
I find it incredibly ironic that people who are believing one guy's claims when watching the video he was talking about would have shown how he was lying are coming after me for my lack of research.
Yes, guys, Brenna Paris, the woman who claimed that more than 62 million men in the US commit SA, came back with the response to me.
And by the way, the fact that he was too chicken to tag me should have been a hint.
Let me address that later in the video because honestly that is less important than the actual argument.
So firstly, he goes after the first study that I mentioned in my video. Note that I say first, because in my video I actually included 5 separate studies. You can see that I'm using different sources. You wouldn't know this from just watching Ilya's video because he suggests that everything I say is stemming from this one study. And I suspect he did look them up and then honed in on the only study he could find an issue with. But he could only find an issue with it if he misrepresented how I used it.
No, I didn't suggest that everything you said comes from one study. In the beginning of
this goes back to the whole thing where I did a video on this a little while ago, right? I guess a couple of streams ago. It's like the whole women are saying 62 million men are learning how to R-word women. Yeah, right. The need to push misandry, the need to push division, the need to paint men, right? Paint majority of men or a good chunk of men with the evil brushstroke, right? So many men are evil, so many men are terrible, so many men are violent. This is the need of feminists. They need to push the narrative that you are the predator, you are the oppressor, and they're the victim. This is what feminists need, right? They need you to be the predator, to be the oppressor, because if you're not the oppressor, what are they doing? What's the point of them talking? What's the point of how can they, champion the sisterhood?
My video, I literally mentioned that you use several numbers, and I say that the number 63.5% comes from research you show later, and that then the number goes to 95.1%. Then I specifically say, if we want to break down your claims, we need to approach them one step at a time. So in that video, I was concentrating on your first claim, the 32% claim, which is based on the first study. Then she goes on to respond to the 3 criticisms I had of the first study. My points were, first, the study was not designed to measure how many men would commit RAPE. It was about how people respond when wording changes. Second, it was a hypothetical, consequence-free, self-reported survey. Third, the sample size was tiny, 86 college students. And interestingly, in her own way, she basically accepts all 3 points. She says she already mentioned the hypothetical nature, she dismisses the wording point because she says she explained it, and on the small sample size she pretty much accepts it. So technically, she agreed with the core of my criticism. But then, when I said that this study cannot be used to generalize to the entire adult male population in the US, she said she didn't do that. So let's just look at the clip.
62 million men, that would be horrific. 62 million men, 1/3 of American men, that would be an epidemic. I am so glad you feel that way, because this study shows that 32%, or just under 1/3 of college-aged men who were asked, admit they would rape a woman if they thought they could get away with it.
It's not just on 1/3 of men. Like, the study was about 80 men, right? Let's hyperbole it, right? 90 men. It's not 1/3 of college, college men. That's not 1/3 of college men. That's 1/3 of 80 men, right? That's 1/3 of 80 men. So the disingenuousness of it, right? Again, right? Women will misconstrue these stats and studies because they need to push their narrative. Women need to push their narrative.
I'm sorry, how is this not using the first study to generalize? You go from 62 million men and 1/3 of American men directly into because this study shows 32% of college-aged men. That is the connection you made. So if that is not a generalization, then what is it? Also later, she accuses me of conflating RAPE and SA. And technically, yes, those are not exactly the same thing. But here's the problem. You yourself brought up a study about RAPE while talking about SA. And I took your...
And that's what women do, right? They want to include that all in one umbrella. Because if you include that all in one umbrella, it makes it bigger, right? It makes the numbers bigger, okay? Because again, when it's R-word, it's not as big as you think. But when you include SA into that, right, you get women... we said this a little bit, right? Laughing man, later, my brother. Have a good night, my brother. When you include that, you have if men brush up on women, right? Men, unwanted touches, right? Hugs or, brushing in the club, whatever.
Video as the premise. If you yourself conflate these terms, then you cannot be shocked when someone responds to your argument using the same framing. But honestly, even if we pretend that she didn't use this first study to generalize nationally, I still cannot accept the idea that a study you include in your video has nothing to do with your central claim. That is not how evidence works. If your main claim is that more than 62 million men in the US commit SA, and then you bring up a study, that study is expected to support your claim in some meaningful way. If you now admit that this study is small, hypothetical, limited, and not nationally generalizable, then why was it included? Just leave it out, because otherwise it starts to look like the point of including it was not to clarify the issue, but to make the claim sound more scientific than it actually is. And that is exactly my problem. So Brenna, I have a proposal for you. How about this? I will go one by one and analyze the other studies you used to see if they support your original claim. Even if it takes 4 additional videos, I will do it. I will try to be objective. And if, at the end of that, I find that your initial claim is actually supported, I will publicly apologize. I will say that you were right, that I was wrong, and that my original video on the subject should be treated as misinformation. By the way, this is the claim.
It's not 62 million men in the U.S. It's actually way more than that. I'm talking about the number of men in the U.S. committing sexual assault.
But if my research shows that your original claim is not objectively supported by the studies you used, then you publicly apologize. Say that the claim was wrong and say that it was misinformation. You don't even need to say that I was right. Whether I'm right is not the most important part. The important part is whether your claim was supported or not. Deal? And one more thing. About me being too chicken to tag you. I actually thought about whether I should tag original creators in reaction videos, and I decided that in many cases it is probably not the best idea. And the reason is simple. A lot of hotheads watch videos like this. I know that. And partly because of that, I try to attack arguments, not people. If I tag the original creator directly, there's a real chance that some people will go to their page and start insulting them, threatening them, or saying disgusting things. And since Brenna posted her response and tagged me, I already received threats, insults, and not exactly the nicest wishes. But I'm fine. Don't worry. The point is, I know how the internet works, and not tagging someone is not a perfect solution, but it can at least limit that behavior a little bit. Also, normally, the original creator finds out anyway, and people who are interested in the subject can usually find the original video too. So that is the logic behind why I usually do not tag people. If that makes me a chicken, well, it is what it is. But for you, Brenna, I will make an exception. I will tag you. And I guess I'll see you later.
I find it incredibly...
I thought it was... but this is the problem with a lot of women, right? A lot of these leftist argument or these feminist argument where, to be honest, they don't have credible sources, right? Their logic isn't all that credible, right? It really isn't. I said this before, right? One of the key things that a lot of these women want to use, feminists use, right? Oh, the majority of violence is committed by men. Okay, fact. Majority of violence is committed by men, but it's disingenuous, right? It's disingenuous. It's hyperbole in a way, or it's used to inflate that. Oh my God, majority of violence is committed by men, but guess what? Guess what? Majority of men don't commit violence. Majority of men don't commit violence, because here's the thing, right? When you look at these violence numbers, right? These homicides or whatever, okay? The last I checked it, right? I think 2023 or 2024 or whatever, right? It was about 400,000. 400,000. Big number, right? Big number. It shouldn't even be that high, right? But that's the number. Compare it to the population of men. Over 160 million men. 400,000 is a lot. But when you compare it to that amount, 160 million men, it's what, barely 1% or so, right? About that. So barely 1% of men have committed these crimes. And yet you want to say, you think saying, oh, majority of violence committed by men means what? Right? I use this kind of analogy where I shrink it down, right? You shrink it down, okay? Because 400,000 seems like a lot, but you might not be able to, understand it. Let's say 10 men, right? 10 men in a year, in 1 year, 10 men committed violence, right? 10 men, right? Out of, or 10 violent acts, right? Happened in that year. 10 violent acts that happened that year. 9 of it, right? 9 of it is committed by men, right? 9 out of that 1 year, the 9 violent acts that happened in that year, right? The 10 violent acts that happened that year, only 9 was committed by men. So it is accurately true when you say that, okay, the majority of violence, particularly that year, is committed by men. You don't need to use the numbers. This is why a lot of these women don't go specific, right? They go vague. So saying that, oh yeah, majority of men committed violence, yeah. But when I tell you that there was only 9 men, right? Only 9 men committed violence. Only 9 men. And I tell you that there's 100 million men. 9 men. You think that, does that seem sensible? Does that seem like, who cares then, right? 9 men committed violence. Yeah, yeah, you're what you're saying is technically true, but it's disingenuous at best, right? It's disingenuous to say, yeah, majority of men committed violence, or majority of violence is committed by men. Not the same as majority of men commit violence. And this is what a lot of these women want to use. They want to make things vague. They want to, you know, omit certain information, just like she did. She didn't say that the sample size. She didn't say that, she didn't say this, whatever, not like this is not a national thing. This is, just a hypothetical kind of stuff. She didn't say any of that because it lessens her impact of her whatever she's trying to say. That's what a lot of these women want to do, right? Because they want to be vague, because the more vague it is, the easier it is to support their logic. All right, guys, that is it for tonight. It's crazy that I had to have 2 lives tonight because I guess I accidentally pressed stop streaming. It's kind of annoying. It's all in the same spot. OBS is maybe, I don't know. I think the stop streaming should be at the end or whatever. I mean, it is what it is. But anyway, guys, thank you for all the love. Thank you for all the support. Laughing Man, Brent, we had Red Door was here. Big Bars was here. Justin was here. Steve was here. I love you guys. You guys are amazing. Thank you for the love, support. Please check out my other videos. Please comment if you could. Please subscribe if you haven't. Yeah, you guys are amazing. I love you guys, right? Later.